Hello, I'm Craig Brailsford, and welcome to another episode of Small Stocks, Big Money. For those of you new to the show, RedChip is an investor relations, media, and research firm focused on emerging growth companies. Our unique platform combines global multimedia with traditional investor relations, reaching investors around the world. Now, today's show features interviews with the executives of two public companies. First up is Nova Minerals Ltd. Nova Minerals is a gold, antimony, and critical minerals exploration and development company focused on advancing its flagship Estelle project in Alaska. Situated in the world-renowned Tintina Gold Belt, Estelle is a district-scale project spanning 198 square miles and hosts one of the largest undeveloped multi-million gold deposits in the world. We'll learn more when we speak with the CEO later in the show. Up next is Calidi Biotherapeutics. Calidi Biotherapeutics is a clinical-stage immuno-oncology company pioneering the development of targeted therapies with the potential to deliver genetic medicines to distal sites of disease. The company's proprietary RedTail platform features an engineered enveloped oncolytic virus designed for systemic delivery and targeting of metastatic sites. We'll learn more when we speak with the CEO later in the show. Before we move forward, let's take a look at RedChat, a revolutionary AI chatbot for small-cap stock analysis.
A new era of small-cap research has arrived with RedChip's RedChat, the fastest, most accurate AI assistant for small caps. The days of spending hours sifting through press releases, 10Ks, 10Qs, 8Ks, 13Fs, 13Gs, and other filings is over. Now, get answers in seconds on 4,000 small-cap stocks in one portal. Simple, fast, accurate, detailed answers. Meet small caps with RedChat.
Now, let's move on to our quote of the week. It comes from the book, Small Stocks, Big Money. Do your homework. Understand companies you invest in, forwards and backwards. This quote comes from Charles Diker of Diker Management, and it is featured in Chapter 8 of Small Stocks, Big Money, a book of exclusive interviews with some of the biggest players in the micro-cap space. Get a digital copy on Amazon today for just $18. Now, let's get started with our first interview today with Nova Minerals. Hello, today we have the great pleasure of welcoming back Chris Gertyson, the Executive Director and CEO of Nova Minerals, trading on the NASDAQ under the ticker NVA. Chris, welcome back.
Great to be back with you. Thanks for having us.
Nova Minerals advancing a major gold and critical minerals project in Alaska. Let's start with a brief overview of the project for our viewers who may be learning about Nova for the very first time.
Sure, we're a dual commodity company here at the Estelle project. That's gold and antimony. We're in the right place at the right time with the right commodities, both at record high prices, and they just continue to move up rapidly here. So very well positioned in both projects. We got production on the horizon, cash flow in our sights.
Right place, right time. I love that opener. Nova recently received a transformational $43.4 million non-dilutive award from the U.S. Department of War to fund antimony production. Tell us more about the award and what it means for your production timeline.
Well, there's no mine production in the U.S., and so the antimony is just negligible. It's such a critical strategic element, and we've been totally beholden to China and Russia for antimony. It's used in all the clean tech, green tech, high tech, and the big one is munitions. So all artillery shells, small and medium caliber munitions require antimony. So the objective is the Department of War looking for a company to take the bull by the horns, bring this production back to the U.S. We've been a first mover in that space. We're at the center of this effort. That's what the funding is for, and that's what we're looking to do to get antimony trisulfide production for the munitions as part of a phase 1 by next year is our goal.
Wow. Yeah, as you said, Chris, antimony, essential for defense, also batteries and electronics. Tell us more about it. How large could this opportunity be for Nova?
Massive, right? So it's not so in phase one, which is what the grant was for and what we're working on now, we're talking about the specific antimony trisulfide product for the munitions for the Department of War. So that's really relatively in the whole suite of refined antimony uh, products. That's actually just a niche product. So moving on from phase one, we'll be moving into phase two, and now we'll be producing antimony oxide, antimony metal, not just for the Department of War and munitions purposes, but for the entire U.S. industrial base. So currently, it's like an over $2 billion market just domestically, and it just continues to go up every year as additional high tech applications come online. For instance, the latest, most antimony based semiconductor substrates. They're all antimony based. The one NVIDIA is using, and all of that, batteries, solar panels, and so many more, these night vision goggles that the military uses. It really goes on and on. And that's what that's our objective. And that's what we're working to do, to be at the center of that effort for domestic as well as then export, of course, right, to our allies and things like that.
Now, as exciting as antimony is, we could probably do the entire interview just on antimony. You also have gold. The Estelle project, for example, has a massive 5.2 million ounce resource. And your previous drill program, well, it delivered some truly world class results, Chris. I'm sure you're going to tell us about it. A 132-meter intercept at 10 grams of gold per ton. Explain that to us and tell us, what do these results say about the potential economics of the deposit?
That's right. So, as I said, we are a dual commodity company. That gives us the investor great confidence that we're not just all of our eggs aren't in one basket. So we're also a gold company and always have been a gold company. To date, we've actually defined almost 10 million ounces globally. Now, what you referred to was the in-pit economic resources of 5.2 million ounces. We're working on a feasibility study now. We're looking to get out to the market next year. And at these gold prices, already internally, the back of the envelope numbers are looking, very just exceptional. The last scoping study we did at previous gold prices at about 1850, we were seeing already almost approaching a $1 billion NPV. You can just imagine what it'll be at a $4,000 gold price. So we're moving rapidly ahead with that. And best case scenario, we're looking to be in production, everything we're in control of, by 2028. Now, there's a few other things that have to, some infrastructure items and some permitting that you never know with those. We're not in total control of those. But for us, technically, we'll be ready for production out of the Estelle Gold project by 2028.
Now, despite everything you've got, Chris, and all the success you've had so far, Nova is still trading at a deep discount to peers, about $40 per ounce of gold versus an industry average closer to 278 bucks. What milestones or catalysts? I know you've mentioned some. Let's talk more about the milestones and catalysts that you think could help close that valuation gap in the next, let's say, 12 to 18 months.
Well, of course, there's the antimony side. We've received this $43 million award. You're going to start seeing news. We've already procured mining equipment and processing equipment. That'll all be coming. I'm going to start construction on that phase one plant next year. So news flow and things related to that to get into production with the antimony by by mid to late next year. So that's huge, right? To be a serious producer, first of its kind, fully integrated here in America domestically. That's big. People should watch that. On the gold side, additional drilling results coming out. With all the drilling we did this year on the gold side, of course, we're doing the technical studies, metallurgical, optimizing the project. That'll be coming out, that economic study on the gold, in the first half of next year. So, before we got the antimony grant, our company was running market cap of about 150 to 200 million. Since the grant, now we're running to between 250 and 300 million. And you're right. I mean, just on the gold side, if you look at our peers, many of these was a similar resources. We're on one of the largest undeveloped gold projects in the world, and in North America for sure. If you look at peers that are in that space, there's maybe 3 or 4 of them. They're running 4, 5, 6 times our market cap just on the gold. Add in the antimony bonus that we have, which is very lucrative right now at $60,000 a ton. You add on that, and you can just see where this company should be going.
What about potential strategic partners, Chris? I want to hear what's going on there. Any discussions underway?
always discussion. So, to be clear, nothing on the table, but with a project like this, a district scale play, particularly with the gold, we've been called the Carlin Trend of the North, which is the premier gold mining district in North America there in Nevada. Similar story taking shape here. Of course, the majors, the mid tiers, we're on their radar. They're knocking on our door, some of them getting into our data room already. Not many projects like this left in the world. And so, to be clear, we're not here to flip the project. We're project builders, but everything's got a price. And certainly as we move forward, I'm expecting that, that those approaches will be a bit more aggressive. These guys need to fill that reserve, that depleting reserve gap they have from production. And this is the kind of project where you could be producing 500,000 ounces, several 100,000 ounces a year on the gold side. And that's what they need. So lots of opportunity there.
Your following grows every day, Chris. Nova. Tell us about yourself and some of the players on your team for those who haven't met you yet.
Sure. Yeah, we have quite a deep bench here that, with all the expertise required to meet our objectives and push our project forward, that includes on the technical side, geologists, mining engineers, and metallurgists at the board level throughout the whole structure of the organization. In addition, capital markets, all these things that are so important, corporate governance. Now, myself, I'm an economic geologist with a mineral economics background as well. I've been doing this business for 30 years all around the world. I'm actually from Alaska, so I've come full circle. And I'm back home now in the trenches, day and night, work here, live here, pushing this project forward. And really what my specialty has become over the years, and my niche and what I enjoy doing, is taking resource stage projects and bringing them into production. And that's exactly what we're trying to do here at Estelle. Once again, I saved the best for last, I think, and we're going to get it done.
Well, we've got one more question. What is the essential value proposition, Chris? Why should investors take an interest in Nova Minerals right now?
All investors want to see the company making money. We're right on the cusp on both the gold and antimony side. With the $43 million Department of War grant, we're looking to be in production with antimony by 2026 and with gold by 2028. That's our goal. That's our objective. And then it's sky's the limit from there.
Chris, an exciting story, and you bring so much energy to it. Thanks for being with us.
Thanks for having us. See you next time.
Now, to get more information on Nova Minerals, just visit nvainfo.com. You'll see research reports, fact sheets, presentations, and the latest videos. It's all free, and you can even subscribe to email alerts to stay on top of the latest news. You can also call 1-800-RedChip to speak to a specialist if you have any questions. We also have a free weekly newsletter you can subscribe to at redchip.com, featuring emerging growth companies like Nova Minerals. Watch this show again and explore hundreds of small-cap stock videos on RedChip's YouTube channel, and also go to our website and sign up on our events page for the webinar series. We have webinars every week, several a week, in which we feature small public companies, mostly our client companies, and you'll hear straight from the CEO, and you'll be able to ask questions after that. Again, visit redchip.com and subscribe today. In addition to our newsletter, you can also order your copy of Small Stocks, Big Money, a book written by RedChip CEO, featuring interviews with some of the biggest players in the microcap space. Order your copy on Amazon today for just $18. Before we move forward, let's take a look at RedChat, a revolutionary AI chatbot for small-cap stock analysis.
A new era of small cap research has arrived with RedChip's RedChat, the fastest, most accurate AI assistant for small caps. The days of spending hours sifting through press releases, 10Ks, 10Qs, 8Ks, 13Fs, 13Gs, and other filings is over. Now, get answers in seconds on 4,000 small cap stocks in one portal. Simple, fast, accurate, detailed answers. Meet small caps with RedChat.
Now, let's move on to our next interview today with Calidi Biotherapeutics. Hello, today we have Eric Poma, the CEO of Calidi Biotherapeutics, trading on the New York Stock Exchange American under the ticker CLDI. Eric, welcome back.
Thanks for having me.
Calidi is developing its proprietary red tail platform. It is a next generation way to deliver cancer fighting therapies throughout the body. What problem in cancer treatment is red tail solving that current therapies aren't?
Yeah, so we've known for a few decades now that viruses can be a potent tool for eliminating cancer cells, and they do it in really two ways. One, they can replicate inside the cancer cell and destroy it that way. And two, they can alter the tumor microenvironment that the cancer cell exists in to really drive the immune system to recognize the cancer. So those are two fundamental properties that we've known for a long time about viruses. But the challenge has been if you directly inject the virus into a tumor, you can get really good efficacy. But most patients don't have tumors that you can directly inject into. They have metastatic sites throughout their body. So the challenge has been when you've tried to put viruses into the bloodstream so that they could go to the tumor, those viruses get eliminated by the immune system really quickly, so they never get to the tumor. Here at Calidi, we're really excited because the Red Tail platform has been a way to solve that challenge. We've created a virus here that is really invisible to the immune system but is specific to getting the cancer cells, replicating inside them, destroying them, and then alerting the immune system of the presence of the tumor.
Eric, your lead program, CLD 401, has shown strong preclinical results, including significant tumor regression in multiple cancer models. What gives you confidence that this program can translate that success into human trials?
Yeah, CLD-401 is the first agent to come out of this red tail platform that we have. We've done two things here that make us pretty confident this is going to work in humans. One, the animal models we use, we're taking mice that have a normal immune system and have murine tumors, and we're showing excellent regression and eradication of tumor in those models. That's a very high bar. Usually, what you see in oncology is taking a human tumor, putting it into a mouse that's had its immune system eliminated so that it can't recognize the tumor, and then showing some efficacy. So, we're using a much higher bar here by using what are called syngeneic models. The other thing we're doing is we're taking the virus and we're putting it into human tumors ex vivo, and we're looking at the immune system ex vivo, and we're seeing that the virus is not being recognized by the human immune system ex vivo. So, with those two pieces of data, we feel very confident that once we go into the clinic with humans, we should be able to replicate a lot of the results we're seeing in the animal models.
Now, what types of cancers are you focusing on first, and what does the path to clinical testing look like?
Yeah. So, again, the 401 is a virus that you inject systemically. It homes to different tumor types. It replicates, it destroys those cells, it alters the tumor microenvironment, and it also expresses a payload called IL-15 superagonist, which is another way to turbocharge the immune system to recognize the cancer. There's lots of nice data out there in the space that the cancers that respond really well to the virus, as well as the cancers that we think would respond really well to IL-15 superagonists, include things like non-small cell lung, which is the most common tumor type in the world, head and neck cancer, triple negative breast cancer. So those are the types of cancers we're really going to be focused on. Again, the study would be in patients who have unfortunately progressed on all available therapies, all available treatments with those diseases, have a very limited life expectancy. And we think here that we could really see activity very, very early in the clinical study. We anticipate opening our IND by the end of next year and going quickly into the clinic thereafter.
Now, Eric, as you must well know, one of the challenges for many biotech companies is manufacturing complexity. How scalable and cost effective is Kalidi's red tail technology when it comes to producing these therapies at commercial scale?
Yeah, so the red tail technology is new to Calidi, but working on viruses is not. We've been doing that for the last 10 years. We've opened INDs before where we have very good manufacturing capabilities in place. Here, we're excited because a lot of the new technologies that come out in oncology are very, very difficult to manufacture, have a very, very high cost of goods. Here, though, as exciting and as innovative as this is, we also have a cost of goods that's very, very scalable. It's equivalent to what you see for most monoclonal antibodies, for instance. And we've been showing internally that we can really create a lot of the virus and create it cheaply here.
You recently formed a scientific advisory board composed of leading industry and academic researchers with deep expertise in drug development. Tell us about some of these key members, and I want to know, why did they join?
Yeah, I think they joined based on the promise of what we're seeing with the Redtail platform and the CLD 401 in particular. We brought on Dimitri Zavarin, who's formerly at Memorial Sloan Kettering, now at Mount Sinai, just an expert in virology. He's been really expressed and really impressed by the work we've been showing. He wanted to join. We brought on John Rangel, who's at South Carolina Medical School. He's an expert in IL-15 superagonist. He was extraordinarily impressed by the data he's seeing early with us and wanted to join. And then we brought on Mace Rothenberg, who's the former CMO of Pfizer. Again, he's schooled in looking at innovative technologies, really like this, came on board. I think he'll be really helpful in terms of developing the clinical development plan as we go forward.
Beyond cancer, Eric, the Redtail platform could eventually be used to deliver other types of genetic medicine. How broad do you think this technology's impact could be over time?
Yeah, we're really excited about the potential here. Vaccinia virus, which is the base for the red tail, is extraordinarily adept at delivering genetic medicines. We've created this form that's essentially invisible to the immune system, and that we are getting better and better at being able to target it to cell types outside of cancer. So we think there's huge potential here in oncology, but then in indications like autoimmune, where we could deliver other kind of immunosuppressive payloads. So we think we're just getting started here. We think there's going to be a huge amount of value created over the near term here.
Final question. What is the essential value proposition? Why should investors take an interest in Calidi right now?
Yeah, when you think about big jumps in medicine, it's usually coming when you have a new modality. So the first modality were small molecules, then you had monoclonal antibodies, then you had CAR Ts, then you had BiTEs, and the fields just jump forward in a huge way when you come up with a new modality. We think red tail represents a whole new modality in oncology and potentially elsewhere. We think it has a huge amount of biology inherent in that platform that can really be applied to multiple different tumor types and multiple different indications. With that comes a huge inflection in valuation. As we start to prove that out, and we think we can prove that out very early in our first clinical study, slated for early 2027, we think the valuations could expand dramatically.
Great story, Eric. Thanks for being on the show.
I appreciate it. Thanks for the time.
Now, to get more information on Calidi Biotherapeutics, visit CLDIinfo.com. You'll see research reports, fact sheets, presentations, and the latest videos. It's all free, and you can even subscribe to email alerts to stay on top of the latest news. You can also call 1-800-RedChip to speak to a specialist if you have any questions. We also have a free weekly newsletter you can subscribe to at redchip.com, featuring emerging growth companies like Calidi Biotherapeutics. Watch this show again and explore hundreds of small-cap stock videos on RedChip's YouTube channel, and also go to our website and sign up on our events page for the webinar series. We have webinars every week, several a week, in which we feature small public companies, mostly our client companies, and you'll hear straight from the CEO, and you'll be able to ask questions after that. Again, visit redchip.com and subscribe today. In addition to our newsletter, you can also order your copy of Small Stocks, Big Money, a book written by RedChip's CEO, featuring interviews with some of the biggest players in the microcap space. Order your copy on Amazon today for just $18. Now, let's recap the companies featured today. First, you met Nova Minerals Ltd, NVA, on the NASDAQ. Nova Minerals is a gold, antimony, and critical minerals exploration and development company focused on advancing its flagship Estelle project in Alaska. Situated in the world-renowned Tintina Gold Belt, Estelle is a district-scale project spanning 198 square miles and hosts one of the largest undeveloped multi-million gold deposits in the world. Learn more at nvainfo.com. Then you met Calidi Biotherapeutics, CLDI, on the New York Stock Exchange American. Calidi Biotherapeutics is a clinical stage immuno-oncology company pioneering the development of targeted therapies with the potential to deliver genetic medicines to distal sites of disease. The company's proprietary Redtail platform features an engineered enveloped oncolytic virus designed for systemic delivery and targeting of metastatic sites. Learn more at CLDIinfo.com. don't forget to check out our stocks page. It is the biggest small cap stock portal in the industry. It has every company listed on the NASDAQ or New York Stock Exchange with market caps of $2 billion and less. And it's categorized by industry. Watch this show again and explore hundreds of small cap stock videos on RedChip's YouTube channel. And be sure to sign up for our weekly newsletter and learn about a lot of small cap companies. Also, go to our website and sign up on our events page for the webinar series. We have webinars every week, several a week, in which we feature small public companies, mostly our client companies, and you'll hear straight from the CEO, and you'll be able to ask questions after that. Again, if you have any questions about any of our public companies featured on today's show, call us at 1-800-REDCHIP or email us at info@redchip.com. In closing, remember, while small caps can provide significant gains, you must be prepared for the downside. Small cap stocks are among the most volatile of asset classes. Some of the companies featured on this show are RedChip client companies, and we may own stock in these companies. So please, always read our disclosures at redchip.com. Thanks for being with us today. We'll see you next week with some new, exciting, emerging growth companies.
A new era of small cap research has arrived with RedChip's RedChat, the fastest, most accurate AI assistant for small caps. The days of spending hours sifting through press releases, 10Ks, 10Qs, 8Ks, 13Fs, 13Gs, and other filings is over. Now, get answers in seconds on 4,000 small cap stocks in one portal. Simple, fast, accurate, detailed answers. Meet small caps with RedChat.